The story of the Buddha and Anathapindika. Long ago, in the prosperous city of Savatthi, there lived a wealthy and respected merchant named Sudatta. Though his given name was known to officials and business partners, the common people rarely used it. Instead, they called him Anathapindika, which means the one who provides alms for orphans and the helpless. This name was not given by accident, for it reflected his true nature. From a young age, Sudatta had developed a tender heart. Whenever he saw a beggar on the street, a sick child without medicine, or an old man abandoned by his family, his heart could not rest. He would rush to provide food, clothing, or shelter. His wealth was great, but his compassion was even greater. In Savatthi, people whispered, "If you suffer, call upon Anathapindika. He will never turn away." His house became a refuge, and his storehouses were often emptied, for he believed that riches were only meaningful if used to relieve suffering. Although he was generous and admired, Anathapindika still felt something missing in his life. He often wondered, what is the highest truth? What is the purpose of all these acts of giving? Is there a path that leads beyond this endless cycle of joy and sorrow? One year, Anathapindika traveled on business to the city of Rajagaha. He stayed in the house of a friend, another wealthy merchant who was already a devoted follower of the Buddha. That evening, as they sat together, his friend said with a glow of reverence, "Sudatta, tomorrow I will go to the Bamboo Grove Monastery to see the Blessed One, the Buddha. Would you like to come?" The name struck Sudatta's heart like a bell. "The Buddha? Who is he?" he asked. His friend replied softly, "He is the fully enlightened one, the teacher of gods and men. His wisdom cuts through ignorance, and his compassion knows no limit. If you meet him, your life will never be the same." That night, Sudatta lay awake. His mind raced with anticipation. Every time he closed his eyes, he imagined meeting the Buddha. The thought filled him with both joy and awe, as though a hidden destiny was drawing near. Before dawn, unable to wait any longer, he rose from bed. The stars were still glittering in the sky as he walked toward the bamboo grove. His heart pounded with excitement and reverence. When he arrived, the monastery was silent, bathed in the soft light of early morning. Birds were just beginning to sing. And there, walking slowly along a path, was the Buddha himself. The Blessed One's presence was serene yet majestic. Each step seemed to touch the earth with perfect awareness. His face shone with compassion, and his eyes reflected a deep, infinite calm. Sudatta felt as though time had stopped. Overcome with devotion, he fell to his knees, bowed deeply, and said, "Blessed One, please teach me the way." The Buddha looked upon him with kindness. With a gentle yet resonant voice, the Buddha spoke of the Four Noble Truths. Life contains suffering. Birth, aging, sickness, and death bring sorrow. But suffering is not without cause. Its root is craving, the endless thirst of desire. If craving is abandoned, suffering can cease. And there is a path that leads to the end of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. As the Buddha spoke, Sudatta's eyes filled with tears. Each word seemed to pierce directly into his heart. He felt as though a veil had been lifted, and for the first time, he glimpsed the true nature of existence. When the teaching ended, he placed his head at the Buddha's feet and declared, "From this day forward, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha." Thus Sudatta, the generous merchant, became Anathapindika, the faithful disciple. Soon, a new thought arose in his mind: the Blessed One should have a permanent dwelling in Savatthi, so that the people of my city may also receive his teachings. Upon returning home, he began searching for a suitable place. He looked at many lands, but none seemed right, until he came to a beautiful park owned by Prince Jita. The park was filled with tall trees, blooming flowers, and gentle streams. Birds nested in the branches, and the air was cool and peaceful. Anathapindika knew at once, this is the perfect place for the Buddha and the Sangha. He went to Prince Jita and said, "My lord, I wish to purchase your park to build a monastery for the Buddha." The prince, reluctant to part with such a beautiful place, tried to discourage him, "If you can cover the entire ground with gold, then I will sell it to you." To the prince's astonishment, Anathapindika agreed without hesitation. "So be it," he said. Within days, carts of gold arrived, and his servants began laying coins across the soil. The park shimmered with the light of gold. Prince Jita was moved. He realized that no ordinary man would give away such immense wealth unless his faith was truly deep. Touched by Anathapindika's sincerity, the prince declared, "I will accept your gold for the land, but the trees, I shall donate myself. Together, let us build this holy monastery." Thus the famous Jetavana monastery was born. It became one of the greatest centers of Buddhist teaching, where the Buddha lived and preached for many years. Kings, nobles, villagers, and wanderers all came to Jetavana, seeking peace and wisdom. Anathapindika did not stop there. His heart overflowed with compassion. He continued to give generously, not only to the Sangha but also to the poor, the sick, the orphaned, and the helpless. He built shelters for the homeless, hospitals for the ill, and kitchens for the hungry. He believed that every person deserved dignity and care. For him, giving was not a burden, but a joy. Many times, the Buddha praised him before the monks. "Monks, look at Anathapindika. He possesses great wealth, yet he is not bound by it. He understands that wealth is impermanent, and he uses it as a tool for goodness. Truly, he is a model for all lay disciples." Hearing such words, Anathapindika bowed humbly, saying only, "All that I have belongs to the Blessed One and to the Dharma." Years passed. Anathapindika grew older, and illness came upon him. Even as his body weakened, his faith remained strong. Lying in bed, he often recalled the serene face of the Buddha and the sound of the Dharma. When the monks visited, he would still offer them food and medicine, instructing his household to serve them with care. At last, his illness worsened, and news reached the Buddha. Out of compassion, the Blessed One sent his two chief disciples, Venerable Sariputta and Ananda, to comfort him. They entered his room, where he lay pale but serene. Seeing them, his eyes brightened, and he tried to sit up, though his strength was nearly gone. Sariputta spoke gently, "Householder, do not cling to this body, for it is impermanent. Do not cling to wealth, family, or even life itself. Place your trust in the Dharma, which is beyond birth and death. Contemplate the impermanence of all conditioned things, and let your mind rest in peace." Listening, Anathapindika felt a deep calm wash over him. His breathing slowed, and a radiant smile spread across his face. He folded his hands and whispered, "All my life I have wished only to serve the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Now that the end has come, I have no regrets. I depart with joy." With those final words, his eyes closed gently, and he passed away in serenity. The room seemed filled with peace, as though his spirit had left behind only kindness. Ananda wiped his tears, and Sariputta bowed in respect, saying, "Truly, this householder has lived a life of perfect generosity and faith." When news reached the Buddha, he gathered the monks and said, "Monks, Anathapindika has turned impermanent wealth into everlasting merit. He gave freely, not for fame, not for reward, but out of pure compassion. His generosity has opened the path of Dharma for countless beings." The monks listened with reverence, inspired by the shining example of the great benefactor. And so, the story of Anathapindika spread through the land. People remembered not only his immense wealth, but his greater treasure, the heart of compassion. Through him, we learn that riches may fade, but the goodness of selfless giving never dies. Each act of kindness plants a seed that blossoms far beyond our lifetime. To this day, the name Anathapindika is remembered with love, as the lay disciple who showed how generosity, guided by wisdom, can illuminate the world.